All right, good morning, guys, and welcome to our broadcast. Good to see so many of you on the live today, this 4th day of September 2025. How are you folks doing out there? Great to have each and every one of you on the live today, folks. It's a new day, and there's so much to be grateful for. Yes, we've had some setbacks, but there's so much to be grateful for. Folks, we woke up alive. I mean, we couldn't get up there, but we woke up this morning. That's enough to be grateful for. And I'm so optimistic about the future and the path that lies ahead, folks. And choosing to see the opportunities that lie before us than the setbacks that we've had in the past, folks. Good morning to each and every one of you. We trust that you guys are great and well. Wenda and Claire and Sonia. Brenda, how are you doing there this morning? Happy to have all of you around our breakfast table this morning. We got some black coffee this end going very, very strong. And thanks to all of you. A lot of folks bring me coffee these days. Bring me some flavored tea. Thanks to you folks making sure our cups at this end, our utensil for drinking, stays, relatively full. We're good to have all of you on the live this morning. Geraldine and Myrna and Deborah and Mark. Good to have all of you. Yuli, good to have you too. How are you folks doing? Thursday, the 4th day of September 2025. The kids are thinking of going back to school next week. Isn't that so? And no doubt lots of you are in that mode to get the kids off. You're fed up with them at this point and they're fed up with you. Back to school for that academic nourishment, not just to say, well, they're out of the house and then in your space, but they're going there for academic nourishment, to be edified, to learn. Good to have all of you on the broadcast this morning, wherever you're joining us from. Valencia, Mandy and Mark, Everil and Yvette, Dawn and Dell and Brenda. Good to have all of you on the broadcast this morning, wherever you're joining us from. Happy to have each and every one of you here. How y'all doing now? How y'all doing? We got close to 500 of you watching us live. It's such a privilege. It's such a privilege. You start a broadcast and people join to listen. It's such a privilege. Happy to have you here. Thanks to all of you. I can't say it enough. Thanks to all of you. You've been out, you've voted, you've campaigned, you throw out your belly. Thanks to all of you for doing that. We're heartened by it. We are heartened by it. Thank you so much. So much. Thank you guys so much. Of course, you had the campaign, you had the election, and now you got the fallout. People are assessing their success, they're assessing their setbacks, and there's currency in that. There is currency in that. You see, but we got to move forward as well. Now, that's what I like. You see, if I wallow in what has happened, could have happened, should have happened, I can take my eyes off the future. And the future of this country is bright. Not just about us, but our kids. Some of you watching us, the children next to you, in front of you, they just shout and want them close the back door. Bring the little bread and the roti with the little thing for me. It's about them. It's about those to come. And I beg of you, don't let us take our eyes off of that. Don't let us take our eyes off that. So we assess our successes, our setbacks, but our eyes are fixed, our gaze resolute on the future. Very soon we can start talking, if we haven't already, but who enters the National Assembly for the parliamentary opposition, and then what kind of a work program we have going into the National Assembly, and nationally, what that is going to look like. So I'm eager to be part of those discussions as we advance, as we continue to put people first. Even those who might not have pulled for us this time, we got to put them first as well. And of course, we got to put those who voted for us too in front, because I don't know if you all have recognized this, those of you who've joined us this morning, and those of you going to come back to watch us. Candy, Nelene in the Jeep. Candy, good to see your name there. Good morning, Candy. Joel and Nima Flu Bass and all the others. I don't know if you all recognized it, but let me give you some information. For your information, next year is going to be local government elections. So we got to pivot. We got to dust off our wounds, bind up our wounds. You see, because we got another election watching us. Local government election is due next week. Deborah, Stan, Engwazi, Gloria, Pinky, Yvette. Local government elections is due next week. So I got to go now, tighten my fillings, press down anything that's shaking, right? Straighten my spine, just tough, because we got to move ahead, folks. Ain't no if nor buts. It's forward ever. Listen, I'm saying this. I see Nima Flubes is on the live with us, and Nima said it best. We will fix it. We got to fix it. Right? We got to fix it. In Jamaica, they had an election overnight. Their election was yesterday. The incumbent, the JLP, Andrew Holness's party, they've secured a third consecutive term. This is politics. You win, you lose. You succeed, and you have setbacks. It's part of it. It would be nice to win. It would be nice if West Indies win. But remember when West Indies used to win? How those other teams felt. But we got to go back out there. You see? And we got to fight for our folks. So you got some folks who went the other way. And then you got some folks who didn't go nowhere. They stay home. We can talk about that too, Grace. Luan, Selwyn, Joy, Jack. Those who went the other way, I hope they don't have buyer's remorse soon. I hope so. But we got to be there for them too. We ain't writing off nobody. We didn't write them off before, and God knows now we can't write them off either. So while we will contest and recount, we got to recalibrate and move forward, because standing still, friends, is not an option. FYI family, is standing still an option? Not for me. Khaled, Ken, Beryl, Debbie, Sonia, standing still is not an option for us. The future of this country is too bright. So if you lack some courage this morning, if you a little, set back, borrow some of our energy, because still it's forward ever. There's no going back to nothing we used to have. It's forward. Forward. I am ready to hit the ground today, heading back out on the battlefield, heading back out into villages, into streets, into communities, and talking with our folks. We can't abandon them now. Even if they don't think they need us, we know they do. And so we gotta keep pushing. Right? See a rebel? Rebels, see ya? We gotta keep pushing, Bernice. Winston Jordan. Winston said, like the Phoenix. Hope you can't reach the Phoenix. I won't mind. But like the Phoenix, we gotta rise from the ash. Dolly said AFC is dead. AFC gotta look after their own business. I'm happy to be alive. I am so happy to be alive, folks. We gotta move forward. So we're gonna keep our eyes on GCOM. We want to recount in 4, 7, and 10. We want to recount in 4, 7, and 10. But we gotta do some other things. I think it's Barack Hussein Obama, former president of the United States of America. He said you gotta walk and chew gum at the same time. And we can do it. We have the experience in governing. We can do it. We gotta walk and chew gum at the same time. So I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I know some folks who fired up and ready to go as well, and who goes back to Parliament and all of that. It's going to work itself out in time. I'm interested in how we move forward, and that visioning and envisioning moving forward. I'm interested in that kind of conversation. Please and thank you. Folks, it's a new day. We are alive, and once we get alive, anything is possible. One of the foremost athletes in this world, Eliud Kipchoge, a Kenyan runner, he broke the 2-hour marathon barrier. It was felt that if no human being could run 27 miles, I think, is a marathon. Anything over 27 miles, I think, if I remember correctly. Anybody who could do that, it was impossible. It was implausible that the human body under that kind of stress would just break down. And then God made Eliud Kipchoge. And when you see Kipchoge run, my God, you understand that the makeup of a human being is so fascinating. Eliud Kipchoge runs about under 7 minutes a mile. Right? Something like that. To see that man run effortlessly with one of his mantras, what I want to get to. Kipchoge says, no human being is limited. I like that. If you could imagine it. If you could imagine it, we got push ourselves. They say no time for lazy people. You gotta want to work. Here no time for no show pony. I tell people all the time, I like work. I find work for myself. Anytime I get a little idle, I start getting fidgety and scratching. I like to work, to move ahead in this new dispensation and atmosphere. If the numbers hold, And because them boys have captured GCOM, I don't see it moving. That's my personal view. Right. By the time Irfan swear in tomorrow, everything else can go elections petition. That's what they want to do. Swear in quick and force you to an election petition. So while we focus on GCOM, we got to look ahead, folks. We got to look ahead. And the future of this country is bright. It don't belong to the PPP. It don't belong to win. I dare say, it don't belong to us either. It belongs to all of us. All of us have a stake in this country. All of us are stakeholders. All of us deserve a piece of the pie. Right? Every one of us deserve a piece of the pie. And if we have that kind of attitude, we can move forward. But see, in this dispensation, it's friends, family, and favorites. While the PPP want to focus on our loss, look at their loss. Look at their losses if the numbers are correct. Look at their losses, and we can talk about that in a little bit. But welcome to our broadcast, each and every one of you. We're going to start with some outlying issues, and then we're going to move a little bit to the center. That's how we're going to do it this morning. Grateful to have all of you here with us. Make sure your cup is refilled and make sure you're fired up as well and you are ready to go, because this is the direction in which we are heading. As I said, happy to have all of you on the broadcast this morning. I am watching my cup as well and watching where we're going and watching what's happening and considering where we are, surveying the horizon, where we've come from, where we are currently, and also surveying, where we got left to go, the journey that lies ahead. Folks, stay with us. Please and thank you. Stay with us. Stay with us. Please and thank you. Stay with us. So let us start from some outlying issues, and then we're gonna come to the center. I saw the suggestion from, I think it was Newsroom. I saw the suggestion that it's delaying tactics to call for a recount. PPP call for recount in 2 regions. That's not delaying tactic. You see how uneven the playing field is? But when the opposition calls for recount in region 4, 7, and 10, suddenly, and perhaps even region 5, suddenly your ulterior motives is delaying tactics. Come on now. Come on now, good folks. Come on now. We saw this headline in Newsroom. So, all the agents were there and signed off. You really? You got a lot of SOPs and got no signatures on it. You have a lot of fake SOPs too. A lot of fake SOPs as well. A lot of fake SOPs. And I have no doubt, if you go in some of them boxes, you will see the SOPs are matching, but we have time for that. But I just wanted to identify here how in one instance, the PPP called for recounting, I think region 8 and 4, something like that. They called for recount, 2 regions or 3. And then delaying, but when others called for it, see, that has another complexion. Newsroom, it has another complexion. It's interesting. This other headline I saw, and we wanted to share with you folks, the Ethnic Relations Commission. The Ethnic Relations Commission. And perhaps I should deal with this headline and the one we saw in the thoughts of the private sector together. But the Ethnic Relations Commission praising the peaceful election and calls for calm. It is just opportune how Maureen Hack, when the Ethnic Relations Commission chooses to speak, right? It is just very, very convenient. But we understand why the Ethnic Relations Commission is how the Ethnic Relations Commission is. We understand that acutely. Why they be how they is. You see? We understand it. So much has been mentioned out there. So much has been mentioned. But I don't see them talking about that. Look at the private sector. Now, this is interesting. The private sector commend peaceful voting, much like the Ethnic Relations Commission. Peaceful voting, and calls for better accessibility. Now, this is disabled people. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, so far, on your behalf, because I wanted to talk to you guys about these things, right? Shaquana, Chester, and Sabrina, and Zalima, Rena, Jackie, Ken, Patricia. Because I wanted to talk to you guys about these matters. I listened into the Commonwealth Observer Mission press conference. I listened into the CARICOM Observer Mission press conference, the EU Observer Mission press conference, the Curtis Center. Now these observer missions, like the private sector, and a number of other missions, they went out there election day, pre-election, post-election, and they saw a plethora, myriad issues, right? Of which accessibility is a small part. But where are these local bodies? On the very, it's only Curtis Center and them. It's only foreigners could come and see certain things. Where is the strong voice of the private sector? Where's the strong voice? And there's some recurrent themes among the international observation missions. What they've observed. A bloated voters list is perhaps top. And let me get Jackie Jacket and Susan Shablows. It has been the parliamentary opposition up to this point who's been the lone voice for sanitizing the voters list. The lone voice on that. The four international observer missions that I've named and noted, Curtis Center, the EU, the Commonwealth, CARICOM, you all talk about this bloated voters list. They have a problem with the numbers in general. Up-to-date numbers. Why is it we gotta look back to the 2012, 2013 national census? When we did a census in 2022 that cost this country $2 billion plus. In 2022, some of you overlooked that. You get them boys a pass. Right? Well, when things happen in the coming days and weeks, months, and perhaps over the next few years, when things happen, and they will, when they happen, then is when I want y'all shout 5 more years upon them. Because you all know, we've had 5 years of decadence and decay. And that is why we had a low voter turnout. That is not on us alone. We've had a historically low voter turnout. So the missions have talked about a number of issues. A number of issues they've talked about. A number of them. But then we hear entities like Newsroom says, delaying tactics when we ask for a recount. Here's some of what the Carter Center said about the bloated voters list. I didn't hear the private sector on that. Private sector say everything nice. The list good. EU, CARICOM, Carter Center, right? Commonwealth. So the list is not a realistic list. One of them did say we didn't see evidence of voter manipulation. That's what they said. But they said the list. And there are ways to go around fixing the list. Take a listen to what the Carter Center said.
Key to this is, are you going to be able to put together a democracy in which people can have faith and in which people can ensure that they can hold their leaders accountable? And when you do this collection of things, and when you address them in this new parliament and with this new government, just some clarity, bright lines instead of blurry lines that tell us what and how is an appropriate conduct versus inappropriate conduct, I think that would be very, very valuable. So we've identified the issue. We can and will make some suggestions as we are requested to do, if we are requested to do so. And then it'll be up again to a Guyanese solution to figure out how to address the issue. So let me take first what we call the list. This is an issue that we have been confronting in Guyana for years. Every election, there's a persistent complaint about the list. One of the things that we would recommend now is, we believe the first thing that should be done, there is a current law that permits and provides a system for removing dead people from the list. That, we think, will go a long way towards addressing the issues that are there. The other issues that are there are more complicated. We do believe there are international best practices for ensuring that you can remove people who've died outside Guyana from the list. And so once we begin that process, for example, that's another aspect of what can happen. There's other ways, and you'll see them in the report, that you can help verify the accuracy of the list in a number of ways. And so we would encourage all of those things to address this persistent problem.
Yeah, the problem's got to be addressed. The problem's got to be addressed. But we kick the can down the road. We kick the can down the road, do the same things over and over, and we expect a different result. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. We got to fix it. We got to fix it. They talked about campaign finance, an unlevel, uneven playing field, the abuse of state resources. Where is the private sector on that? It is an indictment on the local observer missions to have said, to turn a blind eye to those issues. It is an indictment. But you know why they've done that. And I know why they've done that as well. It is an indictment. And because we know where the list is and the potential of having dead people on the list, like those international observer missions have recognized, have observed, what are the implications? That is why we're challenging what we're seeing in Region 4. If thousands of people stayed home, PPP on this electoral map, in Surge, no place. But Region 4, they pick up 40,000 new votes in Region 4. You're going to ask for closer scrutiny? Not so. T. Mohammed says yes. Here is some of what Azruddin Mohammed, leader of the We Invest in Nationhood, WIN party, said just yesterday on the subject matter and why they are pushing for recount.
A critical point in the history of our nation. Within the past few days, we have had numerous and credible reports of grave irregularities in the conduct of these 2025 elections. Reports of statements of poll going missing, tampering with ballot boxes, and wholesale victimization have reached us from across the nation. We have also been made aware of the voting by Bangladeshis, Indians, and Venezuelans, even though they do not reside in Guyana for the prescribed amount of time. These are grave matters that undermine the pillars of our democracy. We have seen suspicious activity in the polling places. we have seen political manipulation of such a scale as to be overlooked. The PPPC has employed government resources for campaigning and has made efforts to buy votes with land, steel, sand, stone, and cash ranging from 500,000 to 800,000. In our Amerindian communities, we have seen cases of vote purchasing, threatening, and harassment of our indigenous brethren and sisters. These are deplorable non-democratic behaviors and cannot be permitted to define our future. Let us be blunt. These elections were neither free nor fair. Numerically and politically, it is impossible for the PPP to have won in Region 4, where they have little or no serious support. The use of state power and taxpayers' money in propping up their campaign is a betrayal of the Guyanese people.
Yeah. So imagine if Azrin Mohammed could recognize the PP have little to no real support in Region 4 and they are contesting the results. What should we do? As people with the biggest stake in the electorate in Region 4, we should throw our hands up and say, well, it is what it is. No. So we are also contesting the results of Region 4, 7, and 10 as well. And look, Jackie Jacket, Jane Blouse. And that's commendable what Azrin has done there. Because you could say, for instance, look, I started this thing with 0. Them boys tell me I did very well. So he said, no. Something is up here. Something is up. That's commendable. Something is up here. Something is up here. Leader of the PNCR and the APNU leader waded into this issue as well yesterday. And while we were asking for a recount, take a look, good folks, take a listen.
Exception, we contended that a padded list will create conditions for illegalities in these elections. We are convinced that is the case. We have seen in Region 4 something very implausible, that we will drop from 120,000 plus votes to 40-something thousand. It has never happened in any elections in the world. Also in Region 10, we moved from complete domination of the region to having lost the region, something we have never seen in this country. While all of this is happening, while we were involved in the count at Region 4, there were many unsigned statements of poll. There were also statements of poll that had no numbers. Of course, we objected. We also recognize that there are many Commonwealth citizens who voted that didn't meet the domicile criteria. All of these, we believe, would have contributed to our conclusion that there are a lot of irregularities in these elections. We have asked for recounts in Regions 4, 7, and 10. We will continue to pursue these issues. We have spoken with other opposition parties, and so they are aware of our position. We want to urge you to stay focused. We want to urge you that it is not the end. We are going to challenge these results until we get to the bottom of how these irregularities and illegalities occur. Thank you.
Yeah, some of what Mr. Norton said yesterday, we have to pursue that. You know, we got to tidy up this 2025 general and regional election in that regard, right? Things must be coherent. You got some aberrations. It makes sense. But GCOM can get it right one way or the other. One way or the other. They can get it right. It making sense. Make it make sense. So while that is happening, folks, while that's happening on that front, we got some other stuff happening. We spoke about WIN just now and their own contention. Now we're learning that some of their party agents were blocked. It's not a headline this morning that Tabitha Sarabo Haley, the prime ministerial candidate for WIN, she accused polling staff in Georgetown of deliberately blocking her party agents from entering polling stations on election day, despite the fact that they were issued with GCOM accreditation. So you see, when people say they think the fair, from whose standpoint? Right? Don't mix up smooth voting with fairness. According to WIN, their agents had accreditation from GCOM. And Sarabo Haley is quoted as saying that agents in multiple stations or at multiple stations waited outside for hours, right? And couldn't get in. She said these delays were intentional. Because if you're big enough, you know there are no coincidences in politics. They had to wait on site for hours. And she says it's intentional. Which part of the aim was to demoralize the WIN ED staff. Right? Yeah. Interesting times. And if you think that wasn't sufficient, the parties were also saying that one of their supporters, she had her house vandalized and burned down. When we read this report, part of the report says that somebody was abusing her verbally, right? Abusing her. And what stood out to us is when the woman said the person who was abusing her verbally, they were in party apparel. She didn't say what apparel, red or what they were wearing. Right? And this is Helen, is it Kashi? From Berbice, Helen Kashi. She said the person had on party, a man wearing political colors, political party colors. Right? Accused her of supporting WIN and vowed to burn her home down. A man in party apparel. And Kashi reported that out of fear for her life, she stayed with her mother at her mother's house, returned to find that she gold chain gone, cash missing, her belongings thrown outside, and part of her house scorched. Yeah. So, as I said, when we say that these elections were fair, they were fair, you got to put a little asterisk at least on that fair. You got to put a little asterisk there. Please and thank you. You got to put a little asterisk somewhere there. And as we said, the observer missions kept talking about a lot of issues, urging the use of biometrics, fair media access, urging campaign finance reform. Right? So we got a lot to do in the weeks, months, and years ahead. A lot of work to be put in, folks. We got another 5 minutes with y'all before we get out of your ears and allow you guys to have a great day, rest of your life, another 5 minutes or so. But there's an interesting piece of analysis being done by Kaitro News that we wanted to bring to your attention before we go. Right? Kaitro News is estimating that over 250,000 voters stayed home. 250,000. And I saw some analysis that suggests in every region, PUP lost support. And that PUP got less votes in 2025 than they got in 2020. And somehow losing, hemorrhaging votes in their own stronghold. In Region 4, they were able to pick up 40,000 additional votes. 40,000. They're trying to make me something. 250,000 eligible voters stay home. Stay at home. So, I don't know how they want to parse it. Oh my God, people have returned us to office. Did we pass 50% voter turnout? If people are so excited about the PPP, why didn't come out to the poll? I could hear them saying, well, they know we would win. Oh yes. Oh yes. Nothing about them has changed. Absolutely nothing. And the last 5 is a good indication of the next 5. Right? If you think the last 5 was friends, family, and favorites and flatterers, the next 5 gonna be that on steroids. Beating the chest, there's no humility in them. None. But we'll be here continuing to offer a people-centered leadership. We'll be here, folks. Let us leave it there this morning. Let us leave it there as we turn our attention to the rest of the day. We're getting back into the groove of our normal program time. So we're going to see you guys this evening as we try to make sense of the day behind us by that time. You know, y'all be vigilant out there still. Y'all be vigilant out there. Be careful on the roadways. Please and thanks. And while we lick our wounds, right? While we consider our setbacks, the future is bright. And that is the journey I want to invite you on as we move forward together. Because there's only forward, you know. There's no going back. We're going to see you guys on our next broadcast. That's our time and that's our program. Stay safe, folks. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay safe out there. Thanks for joining us, all of you who tuned in this morning. Ivor and Bernadette. Quinella Wilson. How are you doing, Quinella? Good to have all of you on the broadcast this morning. P. Alicock and Beryl. Candy and Jilly G. So much to be hopeful for. I know it's not what we wanted. It's not what we wanted. Right? But we have to accept the world sometimes as it is and not how we want it to be. And put our best foot forward as we move forward together, folks. Forward, forward, forward. That's how we can do it. Right? And not even have the lively yet, and somebody calling me. Naomi, good to see you there. Troy and Maxine, Jacqueline and Simone, Ken and Cherry, all the folks who've joined us this morning. Those of you, I should have said this when we started, who are heading back home, you took time off from work in the diaspora and you came home. You know, I saw some folks at our end just came home to serve us food, make sure we were fed on election day, you know, while we were doing different things to make sure, you know, we had sustenance. That's important. Thank you guys so much. Some of you are finding your way back home. A colleague of mine messaged me this morning. I flew out last night. I'm in Panama right now, heading through. I said, well done. Thank you so much. All of you who came home and supported and voted. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And all of you at home who came out to the rallies, you came out, rallied with us. Thank you guys so much. The future is ours, folks. You better believe it. The future, it is ours. That's our time this morning, and that's our broadcast. Stay safe. That's the time, that's our broadcast. Stay safe.